This episode's going to be a mess. John, nice to meet you, man.
Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. I'm just doing what I do. Won't stop doing what I do. Can't stop me now.
Welcome to episode 8 of Behind the Mask, brought to you by All Sports Officials in Newtown, Pennsylvania. As we look back, we started our week over at Highland High School in the afternoon. How'd you feel, John, being out there at your alma mater where you were a star for so long, and then your younger brother, Brian, one of the greatest catchers of all time?
Brian, now at Cumberland County Duke, top 5 in the country. Right. Very emotional going back. Really proud to have Highland High School as their baseball program using our umpires. That's pretty cool for me, and I wanted to thank DJ Gore and the Highland baseball program for allowing us to come out and get our training in while they get ready for the season too. Right. So it's like multifaceted. Everybody's getting ready to go. Before the games actually count, it's really important for our guys to see balls, strikes, out, saves in a setting where the outcomes don't actually matter. Right. So that's really important for us.
Yeah, I mean, Highland has one of the better baseball programs around. All right, so what were your impressions? Because this is one of the first times you've had a chance to be outdoors in a nice, fairly nice weather. Like I say, I think it was in the mid-50s.
You did mention that. Yeah. It was nice. I mean, I just think we have a ways to go as far as getting prepared for the season. So all of the training sessions, we have a mix of skill levels with the umpires and a mix of experience levels. Some trainings go better than others, but once you get out there, I mean, that was the first time we've been outdoors the entire year. So we had some real struggles, which led to some frustrations with some of the instructors. But generally, taking a step back from the emotions of it all, it was really good to get out there and get everybody some experience and some instruction on how we can improve. So overall, it was a positive day.
Then Tuesday night, we had our second annual meeting at Camden Catholic High School. Mm-hmm. We had our first annual meeting. I say first and second. It was really a makeup for anybody who was unable to come to the first meeting back in February. We had a nice turnout, and after you did your pitch, and we covered a couple of so-called housekeeping issues. We opened it up to questions and answers, and I was struck by one umpire who was there. He posed the question. He wanted to know why is he not getting perfect game like the semifinals or the finals? And you had to address it. It's
put me on the spot.
He put you on the spot.
As you slam that table.
But you bounced back.
Yeah. I separate the umpires in the different categories. So. Fortunately, that's a common question I get asked. Why don't I get X assignment? And it can be perfect game finals, or it can be just regular 16-year-old baseball they want to do. So we have guys that are just very limited in their physical skill level that really can't go beyond a certain level, and then we have guys who are really good umpires but don't deal with situations very well. And then we have that upper echelon of umpires that are really good umpires and can handle situations really well. Mm-hmm. So once you get to the top of the pyramid where you're a good umpire and you handle situations well, you're talking about probably like 15 guys out of 300. So the guys that are going to finals and semifinals are 15 guys. So if it's not you, I'm not saying you're a bad umpire. I'm saying there's 15 guys that are better than you and you're not really in that class yet. That doesn't mean you can't get there. That doesn't mean you won't get there. But if you want to know truly why for yourself, it's really important to come out to a training session or an advanced clinic so we can get a true up-close and personal look at what you're doing, what the flaws are, and how you can get to where you want to go, wherever that is. For some guys, it's college baseball. But it's really important to get yourself in front of our instructors and our evaluators so we can give you a real evaluation and not just, guess. Because if I have to guess, you're not going to go where you want to go.
Yeah. Your answer, I think, had the effect of motivating this person.
That's what I am, Rich. Yeah. I'm a motivator. I'm a leader of men.
You're like a Dale Carnegie of umpiring.
I've never heard of him, but
Dale Carnegie is like one of the all-time.
I'm sure Nick will put his picture up on the screen.
So that was Tuesday, and we took care of a few things. There were a number of umpires, I should say, who had come down from upstate New York.
Yeah, we're really happy to have all the new guys from the different areas of where Perfect Game's expanding to. So we went from just over 300 umpires to 382 right now. And we just had a guy join today, so we're at 383.
Well, John, I know you have a series of college games you're about to begin. Just roll it out. Where are you?
Yeah, we talked about it last week as far as an evaluation tool for the lesser experienced umpires or guys who have not reached college baseball yet or plan have that as a goal for themselves. So just the upcoming week, Tuesday, March 19th, I'm going to be at Swarthmore College. That's with Jerry Wogus. So that'll be a cool one for guys to see both plate and base. I think I have the plate because Jerry's older than me, so he told me I have to do the plate. Friday, March 22nd, 3:30 at Valley Forge. Monday, the next week after that, March 25th at Cabrini. Then I am at Tuesday, the 26th, I'm at Rowan College of Burlington County. Wednesday, the 27th, Immaculata University. Thursday, the 28th, I'm at Camden County College, kind of local. So, you guys want to come out? It gets pretty busy last week of March there, and then I have like 26 college games in April, and there's only 30 days in April.
Wow.
So,
John, before I forget, I just want to mention that we're going to be off for the next 2 weeks since Nick is going to be away at some marine training. So we'll wait for him to come back, and then we'll resume our Behind the Mask podcast.
it's going to be a very difficult 2 weeks for our fan base.
I know.
So we'll come back ready to roll.
What are we going to do with that man in New Zealand who's watching us? He's going to wonder what happened to
I
us.
don't know. I feel bad for him. Maybe go watch the reruns.
Anyway, it's time for our All Sports Officials Mailbag. As you know, questions come in through our
I'm
website.
sure they're going to be great.
Yeah.
All Sports Officials is now the official equipment and uniform supplier for the Tri-State Elite Umpires Association. The brick-and-mortar location and their website are both dedicated strictly to outfitting sports officials. With a tailor on location, you can always leave the store with your pants game ready. We are proud to offer a 10% discount code for all viewers of the Behind the Mask podcast. Simply enter Gear Up 2019 in the discount code box at checkout. All orders over $125 also receive free shipping. When it comes to your umpire equipment, there's no other name we'd trust than All Sports Officials.
First question comes from Deborah from Maryland. We must be getting a terrific build-up in our fan base down. This is the second week in a row we have a question from Maryland.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. They're just jumping on the bandwagon. The question is, this upcoming season will be my first year umpiring baseball. What is the best approach for doing ground rules?
All right. Tough question because the different levels require different ground rules, but I'm going to assume if you're a first-year umpire, we're talking about what we would have you do as a first-year guy, which is basically 8U through 12-year-old baseball. So that's one-man stuff. You're on the field by yourself. My overriding piece of advice covers everything. Keep it short. But when you walk up, make sure you're there early, 10 minutes before the game or the scheduled first pitch is generally when ground rules are supposed to take place. Get both coaches the ground rules, introduce yourself, try to at least give off the impression that you're confident, look everybody in the eyes. Allow the home coach, whoever that is, to run you through the entire ground rules from start to finish before you ask any questions for clarification or things you're confused about. Don't interrupt him when he goes through it. Make sure there's nothing in the ground rules that would override the rule book, like ball off that tree as a triple. That you just can't do stuff like that. So generally, 99% of the time, the ground rules are going to be fine. Make sure you study the specific rules for the age level you're doing. For example, if you did a 12U game for us, 10 runs after 4 innings is the mercy rule. No inning after 2 hours, courtesy runners, things like that. All of that stuff needs to get done at ground rules. Try to memorize that stuff so when you're through the physical ground rules of the field, you can run through those age-specific rules really quickly. Then you can get to the good luck part and have them go their separate ways. That's where you get paid. But real important advice, you're going to probably stumble or stutter or forget something. As soon as you stumble, as soon as you forget, just say good luck and put your hand out. The coaches don't want to be there. They're barely listening to you anyway, so don't draw more attention to yourself than you have to. It's not a big deal. Don't overthink it. Try to be confident. If you struggle with it, put your hand out, say good luck, and let's get started.
Our next question comes from Jose. His question is, I had a deep fly ball hit down the right field line with a runner on third base. Now I exited the box and started moving up the line to see whether it was going to be fair or foul. My question is, how far can I go up the line to see whether it's going to be fair or foul, while also not risking being out of position to see the tag at third and give myself enough time to get back for a possible play at the plate? Another good question.
I'm in complete shock. We have a question about baseball. Wow. Extraordinary. Thanks, Jose. Good. That's a really good question, actually, because that's kind of advanced. He asked about not going far enough up the line so that he could still see the tag at third. Okay, the coaches aren't going to like this if they hear it, but the tag at third is out the window. Nobody's watching that in this situation. If you have a two-man umpire crew, we like to talk about all the time the limitations of the two-man umpire system. This is one of them. Runner on third, less than 2 outs, fly ball down the right field line. So the base umpire is not calling fair or foul. All right, so you want the plate umpire to call fair and foul. You want him to get as much ground as possible, right? So how in hell are you supposed to get up the line to see fair or foul in right field and also see if the runner tags?
Right.
It's just not possible. So the geographic locations on the field I would give you, if you have a real field with a dirt circle that enters grass outside of the dirt circle, you can probably get 3 to 5 steps outside of the dirt circle up the foul line. Again, this is going to depend on your actual foot speed and athleticism. Now, someone like me may be able to go 5 to 7 steps. Someone who's 65 years old and has trouble moving may not be able to go outside of the dirt circle. But you have to make sure you can go as far as you can go to see fair or foul while still being able to rotate back to third base extended to see the play at the plate. Don't worry about the tag up at third because you're not going to see it. All right, so when the ball is, if it's caught, you can glance over to make it appear like you saw the tag at third, but there's no way you did. So I would say safe, normal, average athleticism umpire, 3 to 5 steps beyond the dirt circle on the foul line. Stop, get set, see the play, call it, and if it's fair, you're going to have to rotate as quickly as you can back down the first base foul line to get the third base extended to get yourself in position to see the wedge. Good question.
Good explanation, too. Thank you.
Wow, I appreciate that.
Question number 3 comes from Ron. His question reads as follows. I had a doubleheader, and during the first game, my partner was on the plate and had been fairly inconsistent the entire game. It ended up being the bottom of the 7th with the home team down by 1 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. My partner rang up a kid on what I thought was a clear-as-day ball for out number 3. The coach went nuts, but we walked off the field to switch as I was taking the plate for the next game. Upon arrival back to the field with me now at the plate, the coach looked at me and said, "Hopefully you're not as bad as he was," pointing at my partner. I did not know what to say, and my partner didn't say anything, but the rest of that game, there was an extra bit of tension coming from that head coach. So my question is, how do you handle this type of situation? What should I have said to the coach in response?
Really interesting question. Stuff like this does happen a lot with us because we end up with 4 or 5 games on the same field, so the coach that started the 8 a.m. game may have the 10:15 or the 12:30. Try to reverse it in your head and think about the way you would want it handled if you were the umpire being criticized like this and being physically pointed out like that. To me, and I'm getting a reputation now with the video going a little bit semi-viral as being like this quick trigger to eject. This is an ejection, I'm sorry. It just is. I don't see how the rest of this game can go well. I don't see how the relationship between coach and umpire can improve after we start game 2 of a doubleheader with you pointing at my partner and saying, "I hope you're not as bad as that guy." So you're not complimenting me, but you're insulting him pretty explicitly. I'm just throwing the coach out right there. Yeah. If I'm the plate guy taking game 2 on the plate, I think that's the only way to maintain credibility as an umpiring staff and as an umpiring crew, and maintain having my partner's back for the day, because letting him get embarrassed like that is just not in my personality. So some people could probably disagree with me and say maybe it's a warning, but I don't see any way around ejecting him.
I appreciate the fact that if I were the umpire who was being criticized, that you would have taken my
Well,
back.
if it was you, I might have killed him. I don't want anybody messing with you, Rich.
After all, I am your co-host.
You are. For most of these, anyway.
Anyway, Okay. That
So
was
far,
good.
these have been pretty calm.
Yeah. Question number 4 comes from Mark. Question reads, you not only are arrogant, but you're also the reason my umpire organization has diminished over the years. You undercut our prices, scammed umpires into joining your organization, and took leagues from my organization. How do you sleep at night knowing How do you sleep at night knowing you're an actual scumbag? It's a heck of a question.
All right. Yes, I am the reason that your umpire organization probably has less games than it used to. But the real blame that should be placed here is the organizational structure of all of these sort of old-time umpiring organizations where they just never adapted to the new age. So we did scam umpires by making them train to get better at what they do and undercut prices by charging more than other people. So the question is just severely flawed in the information. We're one of the highest paid umpiring organizations in the Northeast. So the negativity in this mailbag is fairly consistent. I know you're getting upset about it. I can see it in your face. But
I think you could sleep very well at night knowing how successful
I
you've
do
been.
sleep well.
Yeah.
I do sleep well, but point by point, we did 46,505 games in 2018. So the umpires pay a fee to belong to the organization, and they umpire hundreds of games. Like we have guys that do 350 games a year, and they're very well paid for the games they do. We're the highest paid umpiring organization in South Jersey, and one of the top paid umpiring organizations in the Northeast. So
Maybe the country.
we did well, maybe.
Yeah.
But we really did ravage other umpiring organizations because there's only a limited amount of games, and if we have all of them, that means there's none left for other places. So I do get where the frustration's coming from because other umpiring organizations in this area are down to sort of bare bones with very limited amounts of umpires and very limited amounts of games. So I guess that would be my fault, and I apologize for that. But if you want to umpire, what's his name, Mark? Mark, if you just submit your yearly fees to us, you can umpire for us.
Yeah.
Even though we dislike each other.
Yeah, and then, to me, again, it smacks of jealousy, and I mean,
I'm getting pissed off with the questions.
I'm really getting ticked off here because
I know you're pissed.
Yeah. Anyway, wow. Question 5 is from a man named Richard. This is certainly not me. Why do you think you could charge a $55 association fee when every other organization does not? When is there going to be an open bar banquet at the end of the year, or do you just pocket the money? My question to him is he more interested in having a beer, or is he really interested in getting some information?
Listen, I think this mailbag is really turning into like some sort of very negative bash session, and it's making me uncomfortable because I put my trust in 2 people to make sure the questions are reasonable. But okay. Number 1, other umpire associations do charge a yearly fee. I don't know what it is, but the $55 per person goes towards expenses that are associated with running an organization of this size. Our assigning software, meetings, instructors that come out to clinics, evaluators that come out and watch, insurance costs. I mean, it's major costs incurred with running an organization of this size. So to answer the question, no, there's not going to be an open bar banquet. But no, it doesn't go in my pocket either. I wish it did. Maybe. When did the mailbag turn into 5 questions too?
Wow.
I thought you work in the production meeting before I get in here, but when did it turn into 5 questions? When did all of them become negative? When?
And now, our favorite segment of the week.
Hello, my name is Mike Scanzano, Scanzano Sports, and this is our question of the week.
The Scanzano Sports Center is a 40,000 square foot indoor sports facility conveniently located in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Scanzano Sports is home to Combat Baseball, one of the fastest growing travel baseball programs in the tri-state area. Whether you are looking for specialized instruction, a premier facility to work out in, or to try their brand new pitching laboratory, Scanzano Sports has you covered. To visit them on the web, please visit scanzanosports.com.
The question reads as follows. John, I had a situation where it was the 7th inning, less than 2 outs, with a runner on third in a tie baseball game. The pitcher didn't come completely set and delivered the pitch. I walked up to the pitcher and said, "You need to give me a better stop." Now, this was my first so-called warning I gave this game. The third base coach saw that and said, "Blue, he just balked." I said I had him almost not come set and just told him to give me a better stop. He responded by saying, "A better stop?" So in other words, he balked, then looked at his runner on third base and said he just admitted that he balked. Go ahead, you score. How would you have handled this situation?
That's a very difficult situation. So I understand and appreciate the premise of the question, which is there's a runner on third, it's a tie game, it's the 7th inning, and you don't want to balk home the winning run on something that's kind of like ticky-tack. I respect that thought process because I feel the same way. So my first suggestion to this umpire would be really you shouldn't be telling the pitcher that you need a better set loud enough for the third base coach to hear. So, like, if it was a foul ball on that pitch, I would use that time to, like, walk onto the dirt and just, like, put my head down and say, I need a better stop than that. So I would really try my best not to let the opposing coaching staff hear it because, obviously, they're going to want the ball called to score the winning run. The response to the coach would be that I didn't give him a warning and he didn't balk. I was just giving him a courtesy heads up that it was close. And as an umpire, I don't want to be the one that decides this game. So once you already made the mistake of talking too loudly to the pitcher, I would really stay away from almost didn't come to a stop because almost didn't come to a stop is a balk. Mm-hmm. So my phrase to the coach would be he did not balk and I did not give him a warning. I gave him a courtesy piece of information, and I did the same thing for your pitcher. So as long as it's equal on both sides, to me, we're okay with it. But we really dig ourselves a hole here by giving this warning loud enough for the coaching staff to hear us because they're obviously going to want this ball called. So when we talk about game management and stuff like that, you really need to know how to talk your way out of situations like this. And if you start saying he almost didn't come set, you're going to have a problem on your hands because you're telling this dude that he balked and you didn't call it. So he didn't balk, you didn't give him a warning, and I gave the same courtesy to your guy. So that's the end of it.
Yeah, and I think the use of the word almost.
Almost means he balked, so try to stay away from that. I think it's an interesting question, though.
I think that the word almost only applies to horseshoes, and I compliment you on answering this question. You watered it down, and we're very...
I try to drown out the noise and get to the root of the issue. I know you were not a fan of the grammar and the structure of the way the question was answered. So thank you for getting through that.
One of the things I do have to compliment the creativity of some of these people coming up with these questions.
Well, it probably happened to this poor guy. He probably had about 9 ejections off of it.
Unbelievable stuff we're seeing.
Unbelievable. It's called baseball.
Well, John, how did we manage to get through this thing tonight?
Very, very controversial situations. A lot of people attacking my credibility and my integrity. I appreciate that I have a co-host like you who's here to have my back, just like I would if that coach were to insult you. In between
I appreciate that.
Games of a doubleheader, I got you.
Yeah, I mean, some of these questions, I applaud their creativity, but some of them are beyond insulting. So, anyway, we'll see you next time.
Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. I'm just doing what I do. Won't stop doing what I do. Can't stop me now. Ain't backing down. Can't stop me now. I'm just doing.
Welcome back, episode 8 of Behind the Mask.
Just no way.
Ain't afraid to bare my soul.